Smiley Day Geeks. Welcome back to the Geeksider Show. I'm Josh.
I'm Anna.
And in this video, we're going to be discussing Critical Role Campaign 3, Episode 14. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later, because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. So this episode kind of came in 4 parts, and we'll go in order by the parts. First part, the fist fight. It was a lot closer a fight than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I fully anticipated Ashton to get his ass handed to him. Mm-hmm. Like, I did not think that fight would be as close as it was. And at the end of 13, I was a little worried. I was like, it seems like Ashton's kind of into this. Like, they seemed like they were flirting a bit, and the other guy seemed like it at first. And then I was like, oh, is he though? God, fuck, he better not try to kill him.
I think it was a tryout. It was a tryout for Ashton to get into the Paragon.
And free advertising.
Yeah.
But they definitely flirted a lot during the fight.
Yeah, there was a lot of talking back and forth, and it did seem like an amicable, hey, let's roughhouse a little bit.
Yeah,
But
they were both very into it.
Ashton did eventually lose, but it was a very, very close fight. And you know, the dude gave Ashton a few free shots, and then Ashton won the initiative. So it started off quick, but it went bad. Once the other dude raged, then I'm like, all right, it's getting real now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Ratanish was a barbarian monk.
Yeah,
because monks
he's rolling
can roll for their offhand strike.
Yeah, he's rolling for his unarmed strikes. Yeah. So. Yeah, he's definitely a barbarian multi-class I think it's got to be monk.
Yeah, that's our guess.
And I don't think that's the first time that Matt's done that in a campaign with a fist fight. I think he did it in Vox Machina too. I think the guy who trained Grog
that's who I was thinking.
Was a barbarian monk. And I don't think this is not the same guy. It's not the same guy.
No, absolutely not. That guy wouldn't be doing what this guy is doing.
No, absolutely not. Which makes it more interesting. You know, straight up barbarian versus barbarian, that could get a little boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
But mixing it up and having a different mechanic in there definitely makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Part 2 of this episode, this session, is where it got potential. I thought this fight is not going to go well. When they fought Lady Emoth and the Shade Creepers, I was like, you know, some of them don't have their weapons. None of them, I think, have their armor. I'm like, this is probably the wrong fight to choose. And funnily enough, it's like the only fight this campaign where nobody went down or was even really close to going down. Ashton started the fight with low HP, and they kind of stayed kind of out of the fray a little bit for most of it. But this was, they won this fight handily.
Yeah. Honestly, I was a little surprised that Ashton was able to keep themselves back in a way and out of the fray, because I kind of expected them to just be like, fuck it, go for it. And they kind of did, but like with a creature that really was no threat.
Well, they were smart about it. And it was one of the best kills of the fight. Though. Slamming the bookcase down on the Shade Creeper. That was probably my favorite kill of the fight.
But going into this fight, I was so nervous, and like I know the cast was too. Like you could just see that they were like, oh my god, we cannot fight. But FCG went in anyway, and that was so in character, because FCG would have gone to check on the guards, and even though Sam as a player knew, well, might have just killed my character, he did it anyway. Because he knew that that's what it's getting, and that's fucking awesome. That I live for that.
And Fern followed him, which is totally in character for her.
Absolutely.
And then immediately started lying to try and get out of it, which is also completely in character for Fern. But it was a really great fight, and it was, you know, the only fight so far this campaign that they won, like decidedly they won.
Yeah.
And Lady Emoth ended up running. If they had grappled her, I think they could have taken her down.
I know.
But I think she mentioned. I think she can help me. I think before she got down the hole, right?
Yeah, before she got down the hole, she said, and before any of them could even see her, when she had made it to the bedroom and they were all coming up, I think it was on Imogen's turn when she was up there, that she overheard her say, I think she can help me.
Yeah, or she'll help me.
Or she'll help me. Yeah, she'll help me. Yeah, something to that effect.
And we do learn that it could be somebody who she calls mother.
Yeah.
I don't think it is actually her mother. I think it's some kind of like brood mother kind of entity.
Oh yeah, oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
I don't think it's her
and
mother.
There's more than just her and Duggar.
Yeah, I think there might be like a colony of these kind of creatures who are metamorphosizing into different things, and I think the Nightmare King is just a part of what's going on. He's not in charge. There's something bigger out there.
That's interesting.
And I think Mother might be the bigger thing that's out there. But Lady Emoth did end up getting away, and of course Orem went down the hole to see if he could see her or catch up to her or anything.
Orem has no self-preservation whatsoever.
None.
Not even a tiny fraction of it. And I feel like that has something to do with his backstory that we'll get later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And speaking of backstory, they found out from the guard, Dunat, that the room that Lady Emoth and the Shade Creepers were ransacking, whatever they were doing, that it belonged to Grease Akritos. I think I'm saying that correctly. And I remember from last episode when that name came up, they linked that the players. They linked that to the author of the research paper that Imogen had come across when she did her research. And well, I couldn't find. I went through the Critical Role wiki and I couldn't verify that he was the author. I need to go back and watch. It's episode 11, I think. I need to go back and look at that to see if that's actually the guy who did that paper. Because remember when they talked about that,
yeah.
He's like, do you know anything about weird dreams? And he's like, yeah, I had a weird dream. So I'm like, is it the guy or is it not the guy? I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah. I feel like it too. Like I remember in last episode when that name came up, connecting it to the paper, and I don't know if that's just because my brain is mush or if that's like a thing. But yeah, man.
So remember they asked him about it. They asked him about strange dreams, and he like didn't get it. Like he's written a paper on dreams, and maybe just the way the question was phrased, strange dreams versus red dreams, because that's what Imogen researched was red dreams
and powers given by the moon.
Yeah.
So like his paper wasn't necessarily about dreams. It was about these children who were born under a specific moon and then manifested powers.
Right.
So, like, he might not have even connected that, but yeah, and
that's something an academic would do.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Let's get single-mindedly focused on, but that could mean, like, the Shade Creepers and Lady Emoth were focused on his room. Like, they didn't go to other rooms.
Right.
They were focused on his room, which could mean there's some connection between Imogen's background and the Shade Creepers and Duggar and Lady Emoth.
And the Loomis twins.
And the Loomis twins,
everything.
yeah.
Well, obviously the Loomis twins.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But, oh my... So this whole thing could basically be Imogen's arc, or at least the beginning of her arc.
Yeah. It's certainly feeling more like it's Imogen's arc, but I also think that all of their stories, all of their backstories and their arcs kind of tie together, and that it's not necessarily going to be a concrete, this is Imogen's arc, whereas as opposed to a whole bunch of them just intertwining because their stories kind of mesh together.
And that's something that they didn't do in Vox Machina or the Mighty Nine.
No, it was...
They were individual arcs.
This arc.
And I could see Matt going, you know what, we've done the everybody gets their own arc. I could see him going, I kind of want to weave these things together.
Yeah.
Just to see, get a different experience as a DM. I could totally see him doing that.
Yeah, and the first episode was called The Draw of Destiny or something like that.
Yeah.
It just, it works. It makes sense that they all were destined to get together because their stories are linked.
And you are rewatching all of Campaign 3. Like, you're going through every episode watching it again, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to do that because, like, you say your brain's mush. I can't remember hardly anything from episode 1.
Yeah, I'm rewatching. Oh, gotta love that 1.5 times speed because you can fly through an episode.
Okay, so that's part one of the episode. Part two of the episode. Part three of the episode was Dorian rescuing Cyrus from the Green Seekers, the investigators. But basically they sound like almost like the Pinkertons from the Old West, which I love, or the 2x2 Hands of Blue from Firefly. So these people are like very high level investigators, and yes, Cyrus being Cyrus, and I do want to mention that I kind of like this part with Dorian having to rescue Cyrus and make a personal sacrifice for him kind of hit home for me because I have two brothers like that, and Cyrus is Dorian's older brother. I have two older brothers who are like that. I've had to make personal sacrifices to kind of look out for them, and so yeah, that really, I'm just like, oh man, that's a little too close to home, but. But man, that just Laudna with the distraction and the darkness and on the single chandelier.
Yeah, just to dim the whole room.
That part was hilarious though because she went to cast it like on the crowd,
Yeah.
and then Matt started talking. She's like, "Oh wait, what were you going to say?"
Yes.
And she kind of, "What were you going to say?" Twirling her hair, being cute, and. So she ended up casting it on the chandelier, which is a good touch, and then poof, it's gone.
Yeah, and then Dorian used that to cast the smoke thing.
But he threw a smoke grenade.
Yeah, a smoke grenade.
Which I had completely forgot that he bought at Gilmore's back in EXU episode 1.
Yeah. As soon as Matt introduced Cyrus in shackles coming out, I was like, Dorian's leaving. I knew.
Yeah.
I knew. I was like, if not this episode, it's going to be next episode, but Dorian's leaving. This is his exit strategy. I wasn't sure how they were going to go about it. I was actually thinking in that moment that Dorian was going to be like, no, you got the wrong guy, it's me, and taking his brother's place, because that felt like a very Dorian thing that he would do. And then, like, second was he'll rescue him, and then they're going to have to skip town, because they are, like, so close in looks and stuff.
Yeah, they look almost like identical twins.
Yeah.
From the character descriptions that we've gotten, but just the lobbing the smoke grenade and then getting in there, bumping into one of the Green Seekers,
Charming them.
I do want to mention, as not silly. Silly is the wrong word. As many mistakes as this particular party has made, they come through clutch time after time.
Yeah.
So he got the charm person off by 1 point. So the DC was 14. Dude rolled a 13. ASHTON'S comes in, knocks the other Green Seeker down. Dorian gets his brother invisibility. They're gone. Rolls a 22 on a stealth check.
Yeah.
Clutch again. Like I said, as crazy as this party is, and they are complete chaos.
They are. They really are.
They come through clutch over and over and over again. And it's just you gotta love D&D that way. Sometimes the dice is just destiny.
Yeah.
That something goes the way that you want it to go.
Yeah, and I feel like they've been playing long enough now that when something goes wrong, they have other ideas. They're not banking on it. Like you could see in Vox Machina, if a roll went wrong, they tried to redo that roll. Like they would try to talk Matt into redoing the roll somehow, and it's like that's not how it works. You failed. Do something else. Mighty Nine got a little bit better. This campaign, they're very good at it. They are like, okay, that didn't work. What else do I got? Even if it's off the wall. And it helps that they created characters that think so chaotically.
So they got away back to Lord Esteros' house, and for a moment there, Robbie did a really great job of RPing this and just pure acting it, because it really did seem like it hadn't occurred to him that he might have to leave with Cyrus.
Yeah,
it seemed like
it was a surprise.
It seemed like Robbie wasn't prepared for it, and he had to have been.
Yeah, it absolutely had to be. It was obviously how this was supposed to go. He's probably got some sort of scheduling conflict, knew he could only do so many weeks, so like obviously they knew when he was leaving. Maybe he didn't know it was going to be this episode, I don't know, but it shouldn't have been like a surprise, and it felt like a surprise. That's damn good acting.
And one thing I will say, I'm very disappointed that Dorian didn't get to stay for this entire arc. As a Dorian fan, I would like to see him stay longer. I'd like to see him stay for the whole show.
Oh my god, I would love Dorian.
But I really would have preferred him there for the entire arc.
Yeah.
As a Robbie fan, I feel bad for Robbie that he doesn't get to be there for the entire arc. Like, as a D&D player and a Robbie fan, I'm like, oh man, that sucks for him that he doesn't get to finish this arc.
What's great though is the way Matt wrote this, he can come back literally at any point. Like, I'm sure Matt already has okay, when your scheduling allows, if you want to come back, here's how we get you back. This is how y'all solve that problem. Like, I'm sure Matt already knows how to solve that problem so he can come back if needed. Or hell, maybe they can go to them for a little bit. But
I mean, the all bets are off this campaign.
Oh, yeah.
They can go literally anywhere in the world, I think.
Yeah.
This campaign is wildly different than the other two campaigns.
Yeah.
And that it's fresh and it's exciting and it's amazing. But aside from my disappointment of Dorian leaving, and I feel bad for Robbie for not being able to play out this arc, I do want to mention their group name. Bell's Hells is what they've apparently settled on. In our last video, I told you I don't like it.
It doesn't bother me. I don't like it. I don't love it. Or I don't hate it. I don't love it. It'll probably grow on me. I feel like if I had started watching Vox Machina or Mighty Nine from the beginning, and that was I don't know that I would have loved the name. It was just already the name, and I was used to hearing it before I even started watching. So, I don't know.
And one of our commenters did mention that, in D&D, there's 9 hells. So Bell's Hells, plural, does make kind of grammatical sense. I just don't like the way it sounds. It just doesn't...
It does sound weird.
Bell's Hellions sounds better. And I don't know if Marisha was trying to say, let's maybe go this way with it. Maybe she thinks like I do, or maybe she just, brain farted and thought it was Hellions. But I don't like Bell's Hells. I hope it changes.
I don't mind it. Whatever. I feel like it'll grow.
It is what it is. I'll deal with it if that's what the party name is. I will deal with it. But man, I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I don't think we ever said in part 4, but we did kind of just segue into it.
Yeah, we did. I think that's all we have for this video. If there was something you think we should have mentioned that we didn't, let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you can let us know by dropping a like on it and subscribing to our channel if you haven't already.
And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.